things that you think is acceptable and you do them, then you'll get that call. Then you'll know. One thing always leads to another. It's not like you walk into Hollywood and they go like, "Hi, red pill, blue pill. Which one do you want?" No. They put you through the test. They know who they can get away with what. People do things on.
I'm fresh up off the MARTA bus. Touchdown on Campbellton. Red pill, blue pill. Looking for Mr. Anderson. What's up with it? What's up with it? Y'all give me a second to get this more going. I'm talking about
camera because they're comfortable doing them. If they're uncomfortable doing them, they shouldn't be doing them. It's just that simple. That's when problems happen. Problems and cases and situations and all this inappropriate because you weren't comfortable doing it anyway, but you did it. And now you want to come back and say, "I was so the whole time, I couldn't believe it." But the people doing the hiring go, I think they like this, or I think they're with it, or they're okay with it. I think they'll do it. This makes sense. Oh, they look like a natural. Oh, they're crying, this and that. They're fine. You okay with nudity? They strip. Oh, they're fine. They're good. And then later they come out and say, "Oh, I was damaged and I."
Shay, yo, what's up with it? She says, "Hello, Rumor in chat. I'm working, but we'll be in the bushes." Shay, go ahead and get that money on. Them priorities come first. Talking about.
They told me I had to, or else I would. If I don't put on this lipstick and dress, I'll never make it in Hollywood. Nobody says that shit. They just put.
Streaming live from a tent in the woods in Wyoming. We are about to watch Alicia's lawyer's post-trial interview. Some channel, hold on, let me get the lady's name right. I got to put respect on the lady's name, just like yesterday with Mickey Truth and Cuff Boys. This is Taylor Umbridge. Exclusive post-trial interview with attorneys Jeremy McClement and Arian White. Alicia's lawyers. We will give them a second. We're going to give it a few minutes before we get to that. So in the meantime, we're going to let this rock. This is the Rumonati Network. We are streaming live from a tent in the woods in Wyoming. And shout out to y'all. Hope y'all got that energy going already. Know what I'm talking about?
Put it in front of you. So you want to do, we can do a dress. Oh, hell yeah. They slide in that dress, zip it up and put the lipstick on and the eyes and they're happy with it. They're comfortable doing that. They're fine. That's them. They're good. That's the people that do it. It's the ones when you come to the
We're getting right to it. We got a few minutes in about 3 minutes max, man. 3 minutes max. We're gonna go ahead and start this. Alicia Andrews' attorneys post-trial interview. Jeremy McClement and Arian White. Shout out to Taylor Umbridge.
Hey, so first up we got.
I'll put the dress on. No. No, it's not me. I say the dress, but it's a metaphor for just doing things that I think are unnecessary, especially for comedy. I wasn't the Three Stooges type of it. I'm not the one I walk in and I trip and fall. You ain't got to hit me in the face with a pie. Now I'm funny. Ha, ha, ha. Nah, just give me the line. I'll make it funny. I'll figure a way to say it cleverly that'll make everybody laugh. I don't have to trip and fall. I don't have to walk into a screen. Oh, jackass. No, I don't. That's not how I am. Right. So it's easier for me to turn down things that I go, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? That make me look foolish? No. My character, my fan base likes what they like. So when I get feedback on
BK, a.k.a. Brooklyn, she says, "Good morning, Rumor. Good morning, Brooklyn. How you doing? Hope that energy up. You know what I'm saying? Hope you're already out setting out and accomplishing them goals. Plus more. You know what I'm talking about? Same for you, Shay. Damn it.
And I loved you in this role, I loved you in that role. And they say things like, "Man, everything you do is solid." Like, that's cool, thanks.
Shout out to y'all. We about to get into this interview with Alicia's attorneys in like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We getting into the interview, post-trial interview with Alicia's attorneys.
Done some things that overall as a project probably weren't solid, but my contribution to it was, when they see you, you don't let us down. Cool. I think of them when I choose roles. You know what I mean? I also think about what I'm comfortable with.
Side note, shout out to the Art of Dialogue. Subscribe to this channel. The other day I was asking the question. I posed a question. I'm sure the question has been posed by many people about black media. Where is our black version of Vlad TV? Where is our version of No Jumper and all that stuff? Well, it starts right here, the Art of Dialogue. This is a great channel, great interviews, very consistent, does a lot of numbers. Everybody go support this dude, and he's like 6,000 subscribers away from 1 million. Let's get him there.
And what I would have to compromise or not, But I do believe Yes, it's a very real thing. It's very spiritual.
Pass that
There's
Dutch. Pass
some people
that
don't believe in
Dutch.
God, but
Pass
do believe
that
in the
Dutch.
devil.
Hey.
Well, where'd the devil come from? How do you believe in one and not the other? You don't believe evil exists?
Brooklyn.
Will you say sing a prayer in a church and yeah, sure. All right, now we do this devil enchantment and da da da.
I know you smoking good over there.
Playing with him. Yeah, yeah. You know it's real. So why would he not say, yeah, well, you do all this, I'll give you all the desires of your heart, but I'm gonna collect that later.
In 1 minute, we're going to get into the Alicia Andrews lawyer's post-trial interview. Everybody check the description box. We got a Thanksgiving giveaway. It's already $150 in the pot. It's very easy to win the money. Somebody has to win. Why can't it not be you? Go ahead and put yourself in the mix. Go ahead and win this $150. It's going to go up as long as people keep donating. You want to donate to the pot? Send it Cash App only. Put a turkey next to it. Put the word Thanksgiving next to it or something. Let me know that donation is specifically for the Thanksgiving giveaway. We're at $150 right now. I'm sure it's going to go up. We will be giving away that money on the 21st of this month, November 21st. Whoever wins, the drawing actually will be November 21st. We'll be putting the names on the wheels of all the contestants, and wherever it lands, that's who gets the $150. We also got a giveaway coming up once we reach 15K subscribers. We got 2 giveaways right there. Check out the description box. See how to win this money and these objects. Let's go.
And we see a lot of collections happening. We see the collections. And when it's happening, everybody, oh, I can't believe they did that to them. Well, they made that deal a long time ago, and he's here to collect. I think it's a very real thing. Just me being honest, So, and it all comes when you try to figure the right turn or the left turn to make or the right path or this and that. Just think about it. Sometimes what you just got to do is you look around the corner. It's the best way to figure out decision making. If I do this right now, I get this. But what's the worst thing that could happen from this? It's that. It's this. I put on a dress, some lipstick. Now I'm out. I'm in the party or I'm at a club. Someone go, there go that punk. You this and that, sissy. Watch yourself. That was just a move. No, it ain't. You like that Now I gotta fight this man. We have to.
Shout out to Brooklyn. She just added 5 to the Thanksgiving pot. It's $155 in that Thanksgiving giveaway. $155 in that Thanksgiving giveaway. Y'all hit the description box. Find out what you need to do to win that money. Somebody got to take it home. Might as well be you, right?
To fight now. There's no other course of action.
Much love, BK. Shout out to you. Let's go.
Because I put on that damn dress. Well, I'm not really like that, but I know that. No. That's part of it, yeah. That's enough right there to say, well, then I know my lane. I know what I can do. I'm not Tyler Perry. You're not comfortable in manhood. For one, that's not manhood. But let's not go there. What I'm just saying is, it's the choices you make. And then if you make this choice, that choice, Hollywood sees you've already made these choices, well, then I'm sure you have no problem with this. Now we'll give you all you want, and you keep packing our agenda. We know whatever we give you, you'll do. So here, we'll give him all the money he wants because we say, now you're doing this because this is the agenda we want to push. This is what we want to make black men look like. This is what we want the picture of. So here, you get your money. Now go do it. That's selling your soul. You don't have a soul. It means you don't have a say. You just do what they tell you to do. Somebody thought I would do that and sent me a script and said, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I said, no, I'm not. But they already paid me. So I give them what I want to give them. Here, this is what you get, some push-ups. Anything else? No, we got to find another way now. We got to find another way because he didn't do what was on the script. Put a camera in the dressing room before he leaves. Tell him to take his shirt off real quick, put a change in my name. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But yes, I totally believe there's that. I've never been, fortunately, faced with
All right, we ready to get into this interview. The Alicia Andrews, her lawyers, did an interview with, I do want to see the rest of this, though, Taylor Umbridge. Shout out to Taylor Umbridge. This is my first time hearing about that channel. Salute to her. I wish her much success and much growth. You know what I'm talking about? But this guy, I do want to watch the rest of this video. Because Omar Gooding, he says, he knows actors that sold their soul and actors who actually died from selling their soul. I ain't gonna lie, I do want to hear the rest of this. So y'all want to get right to what we doing? Hold on.
Okay,
if I shut up and let it play, we can get through these 5 minutes left of this video and then go straight to the interview and we can get on out of here. Do what we got to do. Get the, you know what I'm talking about? Nurse Lady T with the LOL. Nurse Lady T, what's up with you? Hope everything is good. Hope your energy good. Hope you're already out setting out, accomplishing everything you want to for the day. Check the description box. We do have a Thanksgiving giveaway, Miss Nurse Lady T. And if you do want to donate to the Thanksgiving giveaway, send it via Cash App only. Donations for the Thanksgiving giveaway are accepted by Cash App only. Put a turkey emoji, put the word Thanksgiving or something like that. The pot is at $155. We're giving that away. However high it go, we giving it away on the 21st. Hit the description box, find out how to win this money. Somebody got to win, might as well be you. I'm going to finish this. I know I said we going to it in 1 minute. I lied, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. Forgive me, I reserve the right to be wrong, right? Hence the words. But check this out. We're going to watch the rest of this. I'm going to shut the fuck up. We're going to watch the rest of this, and then we're going to move on to the main point. See what Alicia's lawyers had to say. I didn't see that interview either. It's been out 2 days.
You know, I think people like Dave Chappelle have, and they said, look, this is what we doing now. This is what we doing. This is the money on the table. Your choice. And he said, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean? Kudos to him. He survived, came back even stronger. You know what I mean? I think everyone has that moment. You have to make that choice, that decision. It may be professionally. It may be while you pulled over by the cops. It may be out at a club somewhere. You know what I mean? But everyone gets that choice. We all hope, pray that we make the right one.
Man, get to the point.
And I saw you make a comment about how it's actually actors that's not living because they sold their soul.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, man. And when the collection happens, it happens. And I don't even think it's because it's that they not here. It's, well, I mean, no, it is because they're not here. I ain't gonna backtrack what I said now. I mean, it's true. You make that wrong choice, and then if you don't play ball with what they want to do, you know, they'll take you out. That's the sad thing. You know, it's tough, man. Life is tough. If you overthink it, you go crazy. All the things that can go wrong right now to you right now could just your whole world up. So you don't think about it. You just make the best choices because it's, you know, you got to have fun in the control. You really got to control your environments now. There's cameras everywhere. There's phones everywhere. You may think it's funny. It may go viral in the wrong content. Now you're getting judged by the court of public opinion because you said some wild shit at a nightclub or, you know, XYZ good and bad things. You got to be careful.
Man, I thought he was about to, get this nigga out of here.
Careful how you engage.
Nurse Lady T says it's definitely a true thing.
Stranger. They got people killing people off of internet beef. That's crazy to me. These people get brave behind the camera and then they want to take that shot. You got to be careful on so many different levels, man. But yeah, there's definitely a they, and there's factions and all the, you know, secret society and all that type of shit. There's a lot of closed door. There's a lot of them, you know. Cool thing now is there's so many different outlets and platforms that you can use. You're not just limited to, you know, this TV show or this network or this and that. There's so many different streaming and platforms and so on. I don't think it's so much like, I got to do this. This is the only thing showing right now. Like, please, you have an option on your phone to watch 1 million different things right now. So, you know, hopefully we just learn to make better choices because it's
all right. I don't gotta watch the rest. That was very general. This nigga ain't said shit. I thought this nigga was about to get into something and make some sense of something. This nigga just, oh yeah, you know, because it happens and yeah, it's true. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. You ain't said shit. Anyway, shout out to Omar Gooden. Shout out to the Art of Dialogue. Subscribe to that channel. Let's get that brother to 1 million. We are watching this under the Fair Use Act for education, entertainment, satirical purposes. This is exclusive on the Taylor Umbridge YouTube channel. Post-trial interview with attorneys Jeremy McClement and Arian White. I thought it was Aaron. I think it's Arian. It's E-R-I-A-N White. Let's go. We're going to get right into it.
Got Jeremy and we got Arian.
Hey.
Arian.
What's up?
Arian Nation.
How y'all doing tonight?
I'm good.
Pretty good.
Preparing for the next trial.
Literally. Same.
Well, I know everybody probably knows your name by now, but I do want you guys to go ahead and introduce yourself just in case somebody don't know. We'll start with Jeremy.
All right, so my name is Jeremy McClymont. I am a practicing attorney. I practice criminal defense. I have my own law firm, a Celia law firm, and I've been practicing now for 7 years.
Oh, nice.
Who said this nigga just got out of school and he hadn't been practicing? Hold on. I might be remembering wrong. Anyway.
All right, my name is Arian White. I'm an attorney as well, practicing attorney in Miami. I own White House Law Group, I practice criminal defense, some personal injury, and civil rights, which Jeremy also practices. He did not include that, but he does.
I do.
I mean, well, it's obvious that you two have a relationship with each other. So let us know how y'all.
That man can speak for us, so he ain't got to put all that in there. Maybe he don't know what he does. Maybe y'all be doing that shit. Fuck up.
2 minutes.
Oh, God. Jeremy, you want to tell that story?
How we met?
Yeah, how you guys?
I could tell that story. So I was in law school. My first.
Hold on. Y'all got some kind of active relationship beyond. What the fuck am I watching? This just. Hold on.
Summer of law school, and when I was in that summer, I was in DC at the Public Defender Services in DC, interning there, and I had some other law students that were in the same year as me, and they were overseas. They were overseas in Seville, Spain, or whatever, and they had a program over there overseas, and one of them posted a picture, and the picture it said "niggas in Seville," like a play off of Kanye's "Niggas in Paris," right? And they posted the picture, and there's 3 white people in the picture. So we had like a little Balsa chat, and for those who don't know what Balsa is like the Black Law Student Association, and mostly every law school has a Balsa chapter. There's a bigger organization called NUBALSA, and we had this group, and everybody's in the chat, like they send a picture.
Which one of them got the kids crying in the background? This shit so ghetto. Somebody kid crying in the background. He talking about niggas in Paris. I know he's speaking on white people. Nigga, you posted a picture with the youngin' Ace. Never mind.
The screenshot of what the woman posted, or the law student posted, and they're like, what are we gonna do about it? So I took the screenshot of the post from the students, I put it on my page, and I made an announcement that we wouldn't tolerate any sort of disrespect or anything like that. It was a bit of a long post, and that set off like a civil war in the school. So like people from this side and from that side are like jumping in and fighting and arguing and this and that. It's right, it's wrong. Like you should just left her alone. And all that. And so Arian is in school. I'm in Miami. Arian's in school in Atlanta at Emory. And somehow she's seen the post. she might have seen it because we had like a mutual friend or whatever, and he was involved in the post as well. So she saw the post and she started arguing with people back and forth, obviously taking up for me and everyone else that was on our side. And so from there, that's how I met Arian, and that's how we got down. And so from then until the trial, she's still fighting the judge for me. So same story, different day.
Literally, same story, different day. Yeah, that's how we met, and we've been thick as thieves since then. Literally, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So how did this link up occur? Like, what made you reach out to Arian, or Arian reach out to Jeremy to link up for the Alicia Andrews trial?
So yeah, you want me to do that one too? Because
you can do that one. You can.
All right. So I had the case, and then I'm thinking about putting together a team of people that I could try the case with.
Hold on. Let me go back to that
and
question.
So
that might have been something.
There was different, and that's how we got down. And so from then until the trial, she's still fighting the judge for me. So same story, different day.
Literally, same story, different day. Yeah, that's how we met, and we've been thick as thieves since then. Literally, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So how did this link up occur? Like, what made you reach out to Arian, or Arian reach out to Jeremy to link up for the Alicia Andrews trial?
So yeah, you want me to do that one too? Because
you can do that one. You can.
All right. So I had the case, and then I'm thinking about putting together a team of people that I could try the case with. And so there was different pieces of the puzzle that I needed, and I wanted to make sure that I could. The team that we had was a team that we could work with, like people that I wouldn't get into any issues or beef with or any problems, no egos, no bumping heads, nothing like that. So there were a few people that reached out to me that wanted to be on the case, and it wasn't like, maybe more than a few, right? That saw me on and was like, hey, I want to jump on the trial with you. And I had to pick like who would be best for this case with the different issues that are going on in the case. So like the different rap beefs and Jacksonville and rap music in general. And so I had to pick people that knew what was going on and that had an idea of how to handle this sort of stuff. And so Erin was one of the first persons that I thought about. Obviously, because she covers all these issues with different cases and trials and whatnot. If you watch her page, she's on top of all this stuff. And then we work together at the PD's office, so I know how Erin works. The PD's office in Miami. So she was one of the persons that I was like, look, I think we could work good together on this case. I could use you in the talents that you have, and so that's why I reached out to Erin.
Oh no, okay, cool. And I think like when we were watching the trial for a minute, I felt like we didn't really know at first that you were the lead, the lead defense attorney. So let's take a step back for a second. Let's just kind of talk about how you got this case, if that's something that you're willing to share. What made you want to take it or save it to something that I could do?
Yeah. So the way that I got roped into the case was that there was another attorney who was handling the case before me. So that attorney was looking for a co-counsel at the time. This was maybe about a year ago, like Halloween of last year. So they were looking for an attorney at the time, and they had a sister who went to law school, the same law school I went to, FIU. And so somehow we connected at a Halloween party. We connected at that Halloween party, and she said, my sister has a case that she wants help on. I told her you'd be good. So the sister and I connected, and we talked about the case, and I said, yeah, I'll join. I'll be co-counsel. I'll help out. And that's how I got on the case initially.
Okay, cool. Okay. Now, when you got into this case, and let's just talk about when the trial got started, because I know the folks are already, they want to know. But when you got into this, when you got this case, I'm sorry, I'm kind of fumbling for a minute.
Yeah, she fumbled all over that, but okay. This, shout out to you, Taylor. This a fire interview already, because now we starting to figure out how they got even lined up with the case. She talking about ghetto, LOL, BK, AKA Brooklyn. Y'all wildin', man. Let's go. Yeah, this. She talking about ghetto. Yo, they having fun. This is them. I guess this everybody with their hard bottoms off. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their slides on. They at the crib. The host is in super duper chill mode. Her energy is amazing. She got her hat back. She's smiling the whole time, very attentive. So they're comfortable. You know what I mean? Everybody all smiles. I think we're going to get a lot of information, a lot of just small dots connected. It's good to know even how they came up with the team and shit. I wish I was there for this interview. I would ask, where did y'all get that old guy from? Like, how did y'all? Anyway, let's go.
What were your anticipated challenges? Just knowing the charges that she had when you first got on or roped into it and you were like, okay, I'm getting ready to go in here. What was the biggest concern that you had?
Me or Arian?
Either one, as far as.
You want to? I'll take it first.
Go ahead.
My instinct led me to believe, and it was right, that just the cultural differences, right? The finding a jury that could understand culturally what was happening and not brush it off as just simply gang violence. There's more nuances to what was going on. So I thought one of the biggest issues was going to be people in the courtroom that mattered, the judge, the jury, the prosecution, not so much, because, it doesn't matter what it actually means. It's more about how they present it. But getting a jury and having a judge that would be willing to understand the nuances of the culture.
So let's talk about the jury. Are you able to share what the jury makeup was?
Yeah, so it was... There were 2 Latino people.
Hold on. This is exclusive information, man. This is exclusive information. Now we learning wow. Hold on, I gotta go back half a second, bro. Please, y'all forgive me. I'm not gonna stop it every minute like we did yesterday. I don't even think this is that kind of energy. It's not as surprising as yesterday. That shit was crazy yesterday. Oh my God. What? But, excuse me. Excuse me. Uh-oh, it might be the weather change. Is it getting me? Time for some hot tea. This is, oh shit. Shout out, what up, big homie Slim. Yo, what up? We say, yo, what's the word, RUMORNATI family? What up, chat? Shout out to you, Mike from the Ville. What's up with it? Yo, we in this bitch. You already know, man. Salute to everybody. Let's go, man. Run the likes up. Shit, we in here. Check the description box. Figure out how to get that money, man. Go ahead. We got a 15K subscriber giveaway. 2 of those. 1 of them members only. So you got to be a member. The other one is just for Thanksgiving, man. That's for everybody. Hit the description box. Let's go.
On. So I thought one of the biggest issues was going to be people in the courtroom that matter, the judge, the jury, the prosecution, not so much, because, you know, it doesn't matter what it actually means. It's more about how they present it. But getting a jury and having a judge that would be willing to understand the nuances of the culture.
So let's talk about the jury. Are you able to share what the jury makeup was?
Yeah, so there were 2 Latino people on the jury. The rest were white.
And one of the Latino persons was white.
Hold on, whoa. God damn. God. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me ask y'all something. Damn, where's Larry Law at? Larry Law was the only person saying that. Listen, I'ma say this. Oh my goodness. Okay, not one black person. Larry said that fair skin might play a role into them. Bro, that's crazy. 2 Latinos, 10 white folks. And he said something after that. I gotta shut up, bro. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, so there were 2 Latino people on the jury. The rest were white.
And one of the Latino persons was white. Yeah, Latino.
Was white representing Latino. Yeah. Yes.
So after the jury was chosen, like, how did it make you feel going into day one or opening arguments? Like, once that was set?
I was frustrated.
Yeah. I'll say, while we were picking the jury, the ones that we had on our minds, the ones that we wanted to keep, if we kept a lot of the ones that we thought we would get or would have, we would have been okay. It would have probably been like split. But as we kept going through the jury selection process and the prosecution would strike some people that we wanted, some people of color and whatnot, at the end we realized when we looked at all the 12 that we ended up picking that we had basically an all-white jury. And you know, we fought to have other people on the jury. We fought to have a black woman on the jury. We fought to have some other people on the jury. But you know, the prosecution to get 10 strikes, peremptory strikes, which are just, you get to use these strikes for whatever reason, really. And they used them to get some of the people off. And we didn't have a whole bunch of, you know, colored people, black people, however you want to call it, Hispanic people on the jury to begin with, in the pool of individuals to begin with. So it's like slim pickings, and then they have enough peremptory strikes to just get rid of everyone. So when we saw the makeup, it was like, I thought we was gonna have a little bit of a better shot, but you know, we gotta work with what we can work with, because even though some of the people, a lot of the people were white, it was some of them were okay, meaning like they were at least fair. And if we could get fair jurors to listen to the case, then we should be okay, is what our mindset was. So long as they can be fair, because so long as they're fair, there's an even playing field, and all we got to do is do our job, which we know we're gonna do, and then we go from there.
I just wonder now, who all spoke on that? Somebody spoke on saying the judge was biased. Was that Mels? Who was that somebody was saying the judge was biased? And I know Larry Law said Larry Law was saying that he think that Alicia's skin complexion may have a role in this. People looking at her with a light, pretty skin, all she got to do is sit back, whatever. And this is, all quotations. Because, me personally, women of color, they come in all colors. So we good. All y'all. But what I'm saying is this. Now, when people say bias, one way or the other, whether for or against, quote unquote, fair skin and dark skin and all this, right? For or against, do y'all now see bias and skin complexion and skin tone playing a role? Like it wasn't when. I understand. Okay, there's the judge is one judge. The motherfucking judge gonna be a race. It's gonna be black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I said, well, the judge is one judge. But when you talk about the 12 jurors, that's when you're looking for the diversity. It's like, nigga, what? All of them was one thing. So does that play a role either way? That's the only question I'm posing now. We're going to get back to it, though, real quick. My homie, big homie says, hey, Rumor, I ain't no snitch, but cut the camera off. I tell you everything you want to know. Facts. If y'all missed yesterday's live, we watched, oh, my goodness, that nigga, snitch of the century. Shout out to that brother. He did his thing, heading to the rim shop. He sent the nigga named people we didn't even think about was involved. The nigga named big name rappers. The nigga named underground drug dealer. The nigga put everybody in it. I think he said I had something to do with the shit. You was in it. You. That nigga he said your name yesterday. I was like, damn. Big homie says, of course, that's how they gonna swing it. Rumor race plays a major factor in everything. BK shouting out Mike shouting out. Okay, everybody shouting out everybody. Let's go. Get back to it. This a good one, though. This a good one. Hold on, let me see. Let me go back. 10 seconds. There we go.
Is what our mindset was. So long as they can be fair, because so long as they're fair, there's an even playing field, and all we got to do is do our job, which we know we're going to do, and then we go from there.
Yeah. Because really picking a jury is a gamble. It's always a gamble, right? And you obviously want people that can relate to your client. But the idea that, we wanted a diverse jury, of course, but there were, non-white people in the pickings that we did not want on the jury too. Mm-hmm. So it was, I will say this, the second time around, because we had, we kind of started the process a little bit in August. This set of jurors was, I believe, much more diverse than the first time.
Okay. So when it was set in stone, did it change your strategy at all as far as how you were going to attack this case or present it in front of them?
I would say no. It did not, because we kind of expected the makeup of the jury, maybe not as it was exactly, but we didn't expect to have an all black jury. Yeah. We're not trying a case in Wakanda, so we never expected to have an all black jury or people that were all culturally sound and whatnot. Yeah. So it didn't really change, and we accounted for those issues that we knew would come up. We accounted for them in jury selection. So the process of jury selection, which people don't get to see, right? We're asking particular questions of the panel, of the people that are there, so that we can weed out who would be very, very bad for Alicia and for the case. So certainly all the people that were terrible for her, we got all those people off the jury. Yeah. So it didn't change when we saw what the jury was or what the makeup of it. It didn't change our theory. It didn't change the way we would defend the case. We knew that was, a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see, I don't think that everybody kind of understands that, like, the entire process of trial, like, once it gets started, the strategy begins. And I think just as people were watching the trial, the defense's strategy wasn't as super clear to them, which made them criticize heavily. So can we...
You think that's what made them criticize heavily?
I think a little bit of it. I think it's a little bit, right? I think there's
I got different thoughts, but let's go with that. Let's start there.
Okay, we'll start there. Okay, fair compromise. I think part of it was not understanding what the defense's strategy was. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about what strategy you guys chose to pick?
So I'll say this much, like from the public's perspective, I think the state wasn't sure about what our strategy was sometimes too. And that's kind of the point, right? Like, I don't think that the main strategy in a trial is always to pull out the pieces of information that will allow you to argue what you need to argue in the end, right? That's kind of the core. That's why you question witnesses, why you ask specific questions. But the idea that it wasn't very clear, I think is not, it was more so because of the way the state put on their case and some of the things that the judge allowed to be put in front of the jury. A lot wasn't clear. Particularly Alicia's role in any of this wasn't clear. So I think a lot of the confusion actually came from just the large amount of information that was put before that jury that was not relevant to the actual facts of the case. That's just my thought.
So when we talk about the amount or the evidence that was put in front of the jury, I mean, I think it was conflated. There was a lot of evidence about things that she absolutely didn't do. And I'm just a law student. I don't know too much, right? So literally this trial is starting on Monday. The Monday of the week of the trial starts. We're talking about conspiracy in class. So I'm like, oh, let me watch this trial because I got something to relate this to for my midterm, for my final, for my final. And so when you talk about like things that just were not relevant, what exactly was the state supposed to prove? No, I'm just a law student. I don't know too much, right? So literally this trial is starting on Monday. The Monday of the week of the trial starts. We're talking about conspiracy in class. So I'm like, oh, let me watch this trial because I got something to relate this to for my midterm, for my final, for my final. And so when you talk about like things that just were not relevant, what exactly was the state supposed to prove?
Jeremy, you want to take this?
But I was waiting on you to answer it. But you said the last part. You said what exactly was what? I didn't catch the last part.
That boy stopped listening. That nigga was in there chilling. So what was the verdict? I'm not caught up. BK aka Brooklyn. She was found. Oh, never mind. He already told her. Yep, guilty of manslaughter. Nope, she didn't get sentenced yet. Punishable up to 15 years.
What did they need to prove? What did the state need to prove?
Oh, so they had two charges against Alicia, right? One was conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and the other one was first-degree murder. So what they have to prove is, and they charge her as a principal, right? So it means you didn't actually commit the crime, the actual underlying crime. You didn't do the shooting that caused the death, but because you intended for that result to happen and you did some act to help the people who actually did it, we're going to charge you as though you did the actual act. So they have to prove those things. They got to prove that she intended for the end result to happen and that she did something, some act with the intent for that act to cause the killing, right? That's for the principle to first-degree murder. Now, the conspiracy, they got to prove something similar, but they got to prove that she conspired with these individuals, that she had a meeting of the minds with them to go ahead and do this. So that was the two things that they had to prove in the two different charges, and they really didn't prove that throughout the trial.
Did you all plan to handle the conspiracy and the murder charge different, or was it just the same goal, same strategy to isolate Alicia from her co-defendants?
Right. So I think in this particular, you can't separate them because she doesn't have any direct involvement, and all of this is about the conspiracy, the idea that she was a part of some agreement and acted in a way that was not explicit as far as like the shooting. So I don't think you can separate them at all. I think they're required to be together because of how they alleged that she was involved in the crime.
Yeah, and it's when you're a defense attorney, the best defense is the simplest one. Mm-hmm. So if you start dividing up the counts and you start saying, well, this is the excuse for why she should be found not guilty for this one, and there's another excuse or reason for this one, and you start making the jury think too much and having to put too much stuff together, it makes it more complicated for them, and you're likely to get a guilty verdict. But ours was simple. She wasn't involved. didn't have any knowledge of this stuff. And so if you don't have knowledge, you're not involved, how can you intend to do anything? How can you agree to do something if you're just not involved? So we remove her from the situation, rightfully so. And you don't have a conspiracy. You don't have a first-degree murder because she's not involved.
And that was like the common theme, right? In everybody's chat, in everybody's videos, like she absolutely had to know. Like there has to be a point of knowing. And as a content creator, I think that when I was kind of watching it, I was like, yeah, I feel like there was a point where maybe she could have known, or maybe she should have known. I don't think that the thought that came behind it for me was that it doesn't matter in the defense attorney's eyes because they got to prove it. I don't think that landed with everybody else. And so when you are having, or you're in such a high profile case where social media has a lot to say, how does that impact you while you are actually advocating for your client?
Well, this is my first, I don't want to speak for Jeremy, but this is my first high profile, media type where everything is being recorded sort of case. We're not blind, right? Like we see, and I know from personal experience in covering these kind of trials that there is information to be learned by understanding how the public is viewing what's going on. Right. So we're not blind. We didn't turn off social media and not see it at all. But for sure, it wasn't a focus of our defense, right? Like I was making this joke, and I've been making it every day that I see comments about this trial. They don't segregate people on the internet, right? Like the critical thinkers, they get to comment with the trolls and the clout chasers. They all are in the same comment. So you have to be careful about what information you take in and be able to filter through it, because not all of it is valuable. But we live in an age where these trials are being recorded. And our jurors are members of the public, right? So what people in the public and the way they're seeing it, it matters to a certain extent, because they're also not in the courtroom, right? So the way that the camera shows what's happening in the courtroom is very different than what's actually going on inside the courtroom, and that's for sensation. That's the whole point of it. That's why the cameras are set up like that. But it was helpful, I guess, maybe in like the motion to recuse. It was beneficial to see that the public was taking note of some of what was going on. But I mean, that was the biggest, I would say, maybe help. And negatively, I know who I am. I know Jeremy knows who he is. So that doesn't move me at all.
Yeah. What I'll add to that is that the first go round, we had like two stabs at this trial. The first one was in August, and then it got continued because the prosecutor got sick. But that time around, I did shut off my social media and all this sort of stuff because I just wanted to block out all the extra noise. The second time around, I did not do that because I had heard so much of the noise for the 2 months in between the first and the second trial that I was just like immune to it. You also realize that because the trial is being shown on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok, these are platforms where everybody goes on to entertain themselves. So they're in the comments trying to entertain themselves and be the most entertaining person that is in the comment on any of these platforms. And so you got to realize that everyone that is saying something is really saying things so that they can have the funniest comment, that they can get the most likes on a comment, that they can get the most views on their videos. And so you realize that, you're not on the Discovery Channel. So people aren't here to learn or to really digest what's going on. They're just there to have fun and entertain themselves. So it is what it is. But you look at, right, I would have people tell me, because I wasn't watching it while I was in the trial, but at the end of the day, I would have people tell me what people in the chats were saying, but not like the ignorant things, like the things that really could affect our case, things that are helpful to us. Constructive criticism or feedback is what I was looking for so that I could fix those issues during the trial.
Yep, that was my next question. Did you receive anything that would have changed your strategy or the way that you approached the trial? So it sounds like if it was constructive, you took that in, which is great. I think social media is a blessing and a curse as well. So I'm glad that you were able to find some silver lining in it, because the comments were nasty.
And we should talk about that. We should get into that a little bit. I don't know how deep we want to get, but
well, Ariel, you have the floor.
Well, let me answer a question though, because a lot of people were asking this question, and I find it so interesting because I don't know what else she would be doing. But somebody in the comments asked, "Why was Alicia writing so much?" And a lot of people were asking that during the trial, and it's just so interesting to me because I don't know. Well, like, what do people expect her to be doing? This is her trial.
What about the smiling?
She's taking notes. She's helping us. She's assisting in her trial. So we obviously, as a defense, have the benefit of having the person sitting next to us that knows the most about like some of the things that, you know, they're trying to put in front of us. So Alicia was writing because she was assisting in her trial, y'all. That's what she was doing. And I saw a lot of comments like that, but I guess I just wonder what y'all expected her to be doing.
Yeah,
She was writing.
people are a little oblivious to how this stuff should work. I mean, she definitely was helping us. Like when the state puts up on a board 30 gang members for just one gang or whatever, and they start going through the individuals and saying who this person is and who that person is, and they start saying how this person is from 1200 or whatever. Like Alicia is there and able to tell us who this person is. This person grew up with me. This person went to church. This person is dead. This person, no, I don't even know this person. Like I've never had a relationship with this other person. Like they're lying, that they're doing this. So she's writing the things down to give us, you know, commentary on what is actually being shown the jurors. You know, the state, they were sloppy. They were like, oh, you were in a relationship with this guy, and they put the picture up, and like this guy's in 1200s, and she's like, no, that's my cousin. it's like things like that she's writing down on the paper. Like they're putting up all this stuff, they don't even know what they're putting up, and the judge is just letting it in, and she's there to help us weed through some of the stuff. Right? Like I think people, they're like, oh, why is she writing so much? Well, what do you want her to do? Just stare into space? She's on trial for her life. She can write if she wants to write. And the other thing is like people talking about her smiling throughout the trial and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to remember, the camera is focused on her, like solely on her. So every time she makes a gesture, facial expression, laughs or whatever, they're picking it up. The jury is not able to see everything that she's doing. She was buried behind myself and another attorney to my left. So the jury couldn't see her making these expressions or doing any of these things that the people on YouTube could see her doing. And I'm not saying that to say that she should have been smiling more or she smiled just enough or whatever. But there were points during the trial, and there will always be this in any trial that I try, where I talk to the client or another attorney talks to the client, and we break some of the tension with, you know, just a joke or whatever. And maybe not the funniest joke in the world, but like, if I say, did you see this? And she's like, and I say, okay, look, well, they're going this direction. That's exactly where we thought they would go. And we're going to be able to corner them on this issue. And I'll look at her, or she'll look at somebody else and she'll smile because like we see good things happening in the trial. So it's just like things happen. She smiles about it. And sometimes those smiles could be like nervous smiles, but it wasn't a big deal to the jury because they didn't even see, you know, what was going on.
Yeah. And then the other, you know, part to that is like, she is a human being, a whole human being, right? She is on trial for her life. She is innocent on trial for her life. Yeah. And she probably spends every waking moment, like, you know, from the time.
So with them saying she's innocent, does that, I want to know how they feel about the outcome. I know she's got to ask them that. And that can't be against the law, right? I know she's got to ask them that. She's got to ask them, do y'all feel like this was a win? Do y'all feel like it was fair? Like, I want to know that. Get to the meat and the potatoes.
Time she gets arrested.
BK says, I knew she wouldn't get life or that conspiracy charge. Big homie says, she's not a human being. She's a setup queen. God, this nigga crazy, dog. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, BK, as trial went on, the more it went on, bro, I think those charges were, man, I don't know what accessory carries. They accessory should have been another charge. On top of the 2 that they gave her, accessory should have been in there as well, I think. But I don't know how this works. I'm not in law school. Shout out to those who are. Shout out to the people who graduated. Let them do the work. We do the watching.
to the moment that we're in thinking about it. So the idea that she shouldn't have the ability, well, first, there's this like presumption that because she's on trial, she did something wrong, which I find so troubling for Black folks, but we can talk about that too. But the idea that she should be, she should bury her head in shame or not, I don't even know how to pinpoint it, but she's a fully formed human being who has emotions, who deserves some joy, even if it's only a little bit, right? Even if it's in the middle of this trial, like that, she is a human that deserves to feel those emotions. We, had the opportunity as a group to spend a lot of time with her during trial, but on her day to day, she is in jail, like with people that she does not feel safe around. So the idea that she should never crack a smile is insanity. It's insanity to me. And let me just correct one specific thing, because I believe it might have been Law and Crime. I don't know which media page it was that they kind of shifted the focus to her, and there was this insinuation that she was like smiling at autopsy photos. A lie. She was not. So let me just clarify that. But yeah.
I appreciate that. I do want to talk about something that you said, though, because you said she's innocent. So that, to me, says that you believe in your client's innocence. And I know as a defense attorney, that's not something that you may always have. Mm-hmm. At what point did you realize this girl is innocent?
So Jeremy probably had that feeling long before me, obviously, because I wasn't on the trial. I wasn't on the case at the beginning. But I mean, a basic look at the facts tells me that she's innocent, but I don't have that feeling for every client of mine. You can't, right? That's impossible.
No, they not finna tell me seeing that girl standing out there in that parking lot and all. Come on, bro. They not telling me that, bro. You not telling me you thought she was completely innocent. Not complete. See.
But looking at the facts of this case, even as the prosecutors present them, leave me with that conclusion. But also just in my interactions with her, I wholly and fully believe in her innocence. And I don't have any reason to doubt it. None at all.
Yeah, I never had a reason to doubt what she told me.
These are great lawyers. This is what your lawyer is supposed to do, even after they win/lose, whatever the case is for you. This is what they're supposed to do. They can't come up, they can, but they're not supposed to come up here and say, yeah, that nigga was guilty. I just tried to get him off and do my thing and see if they know. So of course they not going to, shout out to you, sweetheart. No disrespect, Arian, but she's doing too much yes, there's no reason you doing too much. You trying to convince us to make yourself believe it. Get up out of here. You know that girl had something to do with it. I'm not, and this is just my thought. I could be completely wrong. I don't know what's inside any of these people's head, but just the common sense, looking at all the facts that were presented, you can mean to tell me she knew absolutely nothing? And she was just there and just went, just oblivious to everything. No, hell no. I ain't riding with that one, bro. Phenom Scorpio says, play stupid game, win stupid prizes. Prime example, she played the wrong game in the wrong game with all the wrong attention. Big Homie Slim says, and that's a long ass forehead to bury. Damn. Yo. Phenom Scorpio also says, Phenom, I said Phoenix. Phenom Scorpio said, just getting in for work. How's everyone? What up with it, Phenom? He says she's a setup queen, BK, a.k.a. Brooklyn. Says, I agree, Rumor. Big Homie said, they full of ish. Come on, bro. Nigga not finna tip. Talking about with all the facts, I know for sure. No, sweetheart, you can't convince me. But shout out to you, because this gonna get y'all hired.
Like, there was never any evidence to suggest otherwise. I mean, there was this perception.
What's the laugh? Hold on. What was the there was never, I believe everything she told me. There was never, y'all I shout out to y'all. I swear y'all doing everything else. And look at her with that look. Yep. Nah, bro. You're not fooling me.
I don't have any reason to doubt it. None at all.
trying to make the eyes wide and I don't have and watch this nigga. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. But I see y'all, motherfucker. I see y'all. But shout out to y'all, though. I ain't mad at you, bro. You doing exactly what you supposed to do. If I was in y'all shoes, I'd be saying the same shit. I promise.
Yeah, I never had a reason to doubt what she told me. Like, there was never any evidence to suggest otherwise. I mean, there was this perception from the public, and there was this stuff that people put out, but none of the actual evidence in the case pointed to it. And that was clear from what the jury, the verdict was. But what was I about to say? Oh, the one thing that people were saying, or that the state mentioned, was this text from 2021 that she said that Fulio needed to die or whatever. And for me personally, that never really had any bearing on whether she was innocent or not, because I saw it for what it actually was. Mm-hmm. I saw it for a 17-year-old girl talking about a guy that is in their city causing havoc, and she made an ignorant comment that probably half the school has a text message saying the same thing, right? And it doesn't mean they wanted him to die or that they were going to...
Half the school wasn't there the night that he got killed. Half the school wasn't in a relationship with the ops that had a long-standing beef with them and wanted them dead, and heard them express the hatred to the girl and how much they... Come on, bro. Y'all... Shout out, I swear, salute to y'all. Shout out to y'all that's comment at the bottom. It's beautiful. Shout out to y'all beautiful black attorneys and future attorney. Today's price is not yesterday's price. That's a fact. Super duper salute to y'all. Shout out to y'all. But niggas know what y'all doing. We just watching the show, doing exactly what y'all said, giving our opinions and all that. But nigga, we see y'all, but salute still and much success.
Like that. But that was their biggest moment of the trial, was that text message. And I mean, it was ridiculous. Like somebody said, they shouldn't have let the text in. We argued to keep it out. We thought it was irrelevant. It had nothing to do with this conspiracy or the actual, principal intent to kill at this moment in time. It was a text. It was so remote in time, 4 years prior to the incident or whatever. She didn't even know any of the individuals that ended up doing the killing or whatever at that time. So it was just completely irrelevant, and it was only used for character evidence. And so I think we did a good job of explaining what that was, but that issue, right, is it could be a culture issue. So that's one of the things that Aaron was discussing earlier, is that people may not understand that she's talking if they've never had those conversations before like that. Right, and people have those conversations, right? Regardless of whether you're black or white, but they happen differently. The words you use are going to be different, right? So two white teenagers may say something.
I don't know where that rustling noise coming from. That's why I have my hands up. That's something on their end, but let's go.
Different. It might be worse than that, and they might not even mean it, right? But I just thought that was a stretch, and it never for me was like, oh, she must be guilty, or like this means that she's not telling us the truth or whatever. When I saw it,
yeah, I think for me, like watching it, the moment that I started seeing folks saying, well, let me step back, okay. My issue with the whole she has to be guilty came from the trial watchers, the 30 to 40-year-old women who are watching trials and imposing their experiences on a 17-year-old girl. When I was 17, I should have so many knots across my head for the amount of times that I fell, bumped into walls, or got pushed down a flight of stairs, tripping over my own feet, because I made the dumbest decisions. And these are the same ones that we see at girls' night, taking shots saying God was with me because I had no business. I think when I saw that, that really, it kind of hurt me, because I kind of feel like, I'm on a soapbox right now, I'll get off in a second, but I kind of feel like, as Black people, gangs are essentially a part of our culture, whether we like them or not. And I think everybody has been in some, proximity of a gang or a person who's just outside and in the streets. And the fact that her proximity to folks put her on trial, it hurt me in a sense, and it hurt me that our people couldn't look at it and even look at it in a non-biased way to attempt to follow the evidence, it was immediately, oh, when I was 17, I wouldn't have gotten in the car with anybody. I would have asked questions. I would have done this. I would have done that. So for me, that
Exactly. There has to be some accountability, bro. You can't see this is the shit I be talking about, bro. This is why we here, because we want to be too understanding for the nonsense. Where's the teaching? Where's the guidance? Where's the learning? Where's the training? You train a child up in the ways that you want it to grow, right? You train. If your child was trained when a situation presents itself and sees something, they see something they already know not to be there. It's the difference between having a child, raising a child, and training a child, nurturing a child, growing a child. All that shit is different things. You feel what I'm talking about? You got to put so much effort into each one of them, especially the training part. Just like how, just think of it like muscle memory. How officers or a SWAT team or military personnel train themselves for certain situations. It's muscle memory to know how to pull your weapon when you're in an awkward situation and get that shot off. Or, martial arts. So when somebody grabs you a certain way, it's muscle memory because you've been trained for years and years on, and if this happens, boom, somebody grab me here, I take their arm and I flip that motherfucker, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trained. It's muscle memory. These kids are not trained or raised. They're just had. You know what I'm saying? Their parents are friends with them. They got so much freedom to go out and do what the hell they want to do. That's the problem. Stop understanding when I'm just mad because everybody's against her. We should be against anybody who lets themselves get in this situation. She's not completely innocent. I don't give a damn about how you feel personally. Excuse me, no disrespect to them or their channel. No disrespect to the girl or her family. You're not completely oblivious. That's what we have to understand. In this day and age, information, technology, association, all that plays a role. You have to explain to your child about association, being guilty by association. This is an exact example of that. So why would you then have to, we have to have more. I'm just mad about the people. Well, nigga, if you made better decisions, what they say, birds of a feather flock together. Stop being around those that do those type of activities. You lessen your chances of getting you lessen your chances of a bad outcome if you don't hang around the bad people. Yes, anything can happen anywhere, right? But if this particular area in town is a hot spot for crime, murder, drugs, robberies, if you hang there 6 out of 7 days of the week, you are more than likely going to commit one of those crimes or become a victim of one of those crimes, more than likely than in an area where the percentage for those crimes are lower. You increase your chances. So guilty by association, making better decisions. Yes, that counts for something. So forget all this is what I be talking about. Fuck having all this fake ass understanding for bullshit. No. This needs to be a lesson taught, an example. This is what the fuck happens when you associate yourself with the scum, with the loot, because, he's cute. He has the tattoos. He raps. She get money. She do that. Whatever the situation is. No, nigga, I'm sorry. Still salute to y'all, but I don't have no understanding for that type of thought. Fuck out of here with that. That's going to keep us in trouble, keep bad decisions being made.
The thing that really ticked me off.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So I agree with you. I think all of us are, I don't even want to say a bad decision, right? But all of us are one decision away from ending up in, the worst position of our lives.
That's why you train your, duh.
And it may not be a bad decision. It may be a questionable decision. It may be a decision that you didn't even realize what the consequences could be. But we are all one decision away from the circumstances of our lives being completely different, right? But I want to challenge you a little bit, Taylor, because somehow, right? I watched the YSL trial every day of it, and somehow some of the same people that criticize Alicia,
y'all hear that noise, that rustling? I don't know what that is. That's on their stream. I'm just stopping to let y'all know, but we tuned in. Let's go.
Must have been guilty. She had to have known because she was there. Some of those same people were able to pick apart the evidence in the YSL trial and say, hey, maybe some of them have committed some crimes, but I don't think the state can prove it. But that wasn't the way. the conversations were going about this trial. And I'm going to venture out and say that there's a lot of anti-Blackness at the root of that. And who the lawyers were and who the judge was mattered. And I think that's why the conversations went the way they did about Alicia, because I've seen firsthand some of the same people that were watching this YSL trial and very, very understanding, and the judge is wrong and the lawyers are right, somehow now think that just because a judge says something, that means the judge is right and the lawyers are wrong. And I find that very interesting because the racial dynamics are very different now. So I would challenge some of those people to look deep inside and figure out why that is. But more importantly, I would challenge anybody to argue why they think Alicia could have committed this crime or, known anything, and they can't say because she was there. Like that can't be a part of your argument.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody, you can't.
How can you say what can't be a part of an argument? You can't tell me what kind of bullets I can put in my gun, or you can't put hollow tips. Oh no, you can't put buck shots. You can only put game shots in your shotgun. You can't tell me, because now when you take away that, you take away the prosecution's whole side. And obviously, even though you felt like, oh yeah, when you heard him, did y'all see when he diverted from what he was saying about that's why the jury ruled? Yeah, nigga, y'all was saying why y'all thought she was innocent, and then was gonna say that's why the jury ruled, and then what did you do? Change up and go to something else, because nigga, the jury ruled her guilty, nigga, of something. She's going to do some time. So what you saying makes no sense. You can't take away the main point. She was there for a lot of the process. Bruh, at this point, it ain't about, listen, I respect 1,000% the time they put in, the degrees they have, the position they are having in life, but I'm not taking my common sense away just to allow your hat, the hat that you wear, to be correct when I'm looking at it. And it's, no, you can't. The jury the jury saw and felt the same way everybody else feel. Plain and simple. Because she didn't walk away. No, she didn't pull the trigger, but she did something, obviously. Fuck out of here, bro. Y'all, you not winning me over just because I'm the lawyer, so because I say this, I challenge you. No, nigga. Phenom says they did their homework. State had their shit together. That's why she got charged with something. She didn't go home. The nigga I don't want to rewind it because this is a long interview, but did y'all see the part? Do y'all remember the part where the nigga they was just talking about how the girl was innocent and they felt they had no reason to go against it? He said, and obviously the jury felt the same way. That's why and he went back and started talking about something else. Because then if he would have kept talking, he would have said, that's why they, what you gonna say, only gave her manslaughter and she only, nigga. Anyway. Check it out, TV say, Lil Bill hat, salute, tapping in, we here. That boy said, Lil Bill hat. Phenom says, lessons is you get right or wrong, is to strike you out. Excuse me. That's no knock. They was all playing the no nonsense game. It's just her bad luck. She's caught up in something, doing life. It's not here. Excuse me. I'm a little teacup looking at. What's up? Check it out, TV. I'm about to get on your ass, dog. Fuck wrong with you? Random spoon looking at. Cole from Martin looking at, nigga. Big homie say this is another example of if you got the right skin complexion, you can get away with anything. Like T-Rex said, she got away with it, but she ain't really get away with it. Cause maybe in my mind, I feel like she's guilty of conspiracy, but watching it, looking at the evidence, I don't think they can prove conspiracy. I think they would have been better off with accessory. But do I think she's completely absolved of all? Is she just scot-free? Oh, I had nothing to do with it at all. No. What are they talking about? Y'all can't fool me with the smile and the lawyer jargon and I challenge you. No, I challenge you. put them on a polygraph and ask them these questions and see how that polygraph reads. I challenge you. I bet you felt there was some sort of guilt in there. I bet you did.
Says it like that's literally one of the rules. Mere presence is not enough. Like that is the rule. So you have to prove it beyond. But I'm sorry, that's just law school coming out of me. I learned a little.
But yeah, and I don't think you can. If you're not allowed to say because she was there, because that's at the end of every thought. She must have known because she was there. And if you can't argue because she was there, there is literally no evidence that she knew, and that's because she didn't. And that's just what it is. So yeah.
How are you taking away the whole defense for the offense? Y'all are the defense, they're the prosecution. How are you taking away the whole prosecution's side of the fight? If you take that away, then she's completely innocent. If you take the gun away, then I'm not the shooter. If you remove the fact that his fingerprints is on the gun, then he's had nothing to do with it. I'm tripping. If I'm tripping, let me know, bro. Look how this nigga, he look, no, he. Never.
All right, so let's go back into the courtroom, right? Because there were a lot of challenges that you guys faced.
Arian, you look like you full of shit, right? She got the I'm full of shit face right now. Look at her. She look like she full of shit. I give it to you. You are doing your thing. I swear you're doing what you're supposed to do. She full of shit. Shout out to y'all, man. I wish y'all much success, though.
When it came to just sidebars or just trying to question your witnesses, how did you manage just like the emotional, because you guys believe in their innocence, right? So I know it had to be emotional in that moment when you're wanting to get this question out or you're wanting to bring this evidence in. How do you manage that, like on the fly in front of the cameras?
Jeremy does a much better job at it than me.
If she like this nigga or something, or did they copulate before or something? God damn, shorty, get off that man's sack. Jeremy does it better than me. God damn, let Jeremy breathe. That nigga girl probably over there or something. You all on that nigga nuts? Nigga probably don't even want to be. Never mind.
You want to take it? Or you want me to take it?
I'll take it. I'm not gonna say I don't manage it well. I believe that I remain professional, right? But I am a passionate advocate. And I don't believe in not speaking up when something is wrong.
We see that.
I don't like disrespect or anything that is at a negative towards me to go unchecked.
But see, that's the problem. See, that's the problem. That's a problem. Everybody. Well, I ain't gonna say that's a problem. Let me ask you this. I pose the question to anybody that feels that way. Do you pick and choose your fights? Or is every situation that you deem disrespect getting checked and put in? Because if that's the case, I don't think I need you as my lawyer if you can't keep your cool and not say something for the greater good. You have to, everything that I had. That's a lot of audacity, right? That's a very pompous attitude. People who feel like, oh, you can't cuss at me, or you can't. Just like when a dude told, I understand it, and it's a way. If you feel disrespected in the court of law because you don't like the words that are being said, it's not, if it's no personal jabs, if there is no profanity. So that if there's no test of your intelligence, like the judge didn't tell you, if the judge don't say, hey, shut the fuck up, bitch. If the judge be like, hey, you need to pipe down, you need to be quiet, da-da-da-da. If you can't take that, if you can't take authority, boy, I don't know if you, boy, I'm just saying that's just that attitude, period. Not her personally, but yeah, well, her personally right now, I guess.
So but there's a balance there, right? Because the way that I speak outside of the presence of the jury is very different than in front of the jury, right? Because again, and not all lawyers have this burden, but we have the burden of being Black attorneys, and I have the burden of being a Black woman attorney. And so I have to manage the way that I interact in the courtroom in front of the jury. Outside of the jury still, but it's very different. It's very frustrating, right? To know that your position is the correct one, to have case law to back it up, to have the Constitution to back it up, to have common sense back it up, and still yet somehow the people on the opposite side of you disagree. And
disagreeing is not disrespect. I agree with everything she just said, and I understand the plight. And there is a power struggle, a stigma. Everything that she named is 100% correct. Black lawyers, especially her being a female Black lawyer. That's why I continue, even after my criticism, I still continue to say salute to them, and I wish them the best, because this ain't a personal attack. It's just the words that are being said. It could have been anybody. She could be my family member saying these same exact words, and I'm going to have the same exact reaction to that attitude. That's all I'm speaking of, is the attitude about your words saying that you have to check everything. But even if you do say it in a different way, do you still have to check every little thing is what I'm talking about. You can't let nothing go. And also, how do you deem a disagreement as disrespect? I hope she goes more into detail, but just because you feel like, oh, this fits this case law fits this case in this manner, this lines up with this, I want to use this as a part of my defense, and somebody says we don't agree, no. How is that? I need that to be expounded upon as how that's disrespect. That's like me saying I'm gonna just make up something. I love the New York Knicks. That's my favorite team ever. Hopefully they'll become NBA champions 5 years in a row for once. You know, I pray to God that happens. Then somebody says, no, I don't agree. The NBA Knicks suck. No matter who they get, they'll never make it to the championship. And if they do, they'll never win. You should stop rooting for the Knicks. They're trash. That's a disagreement. That's not disrespect, bro. That's not disrespect. The nigga didn't say, hey, fuck you, fuck how you feel about the Knicks, you piece of shit, you a soft ass nigga for liking the Knicks, and you a bitch, and I'll beat you up. That's disrespect. Oh, I don't agree. I don't think that should be implemented because that don't line up with this. That's not disrespect. That's a disagreement. But let's see if she clears shit up and shut me the fuck up. Let's go.
The person who has the control over what is put in front of the jury disagrees. It's very frustrating.
Frustrating, yes. Is it disrespect? I haven't seen it yet. Where?
And I think even the best lawyers, sometimes it may show on your face.
That's their sound, not mine.
But all you can do is move forward. That's all. That's the only choice you have, because as frustrating as it is, Alicia's life is still in our hands. So we have to move forward and adjust and hope that if this is something that's in front of the jury, that they question it as well. Because don't think the jurors don't see, like, why can't we hear the answer to that question? They don't see some of the arguments that are made from the state, from the defense, and even the judge. The jurors see that too. And if they're interested in justice, they might be offended by some of what's going on in the courtroom too.
Okay. So I just lost my second question. ADHD kind of kicked in a little bit. So when we talk about that was a question about inside the courtroom and just the challenges that are there. How do you keep Alicia's spirits up when you are facing those challenges?
Before we get to trial or any hearing, I have to manage her expectations with what is about to happen. So I'm not oblivious to the fact that the judge rules certain ways or speaks a certain way or has a certain tone or disdain for the defense. And we have these discussions long before trial with Alicia, and she sees it for herself before we actually get to trial. What it is, what it is. And so when it comes, it's not like a surprise to us or to Alicia, because we've discussed it, we've talked about it, we've talked about how to get around it, and how the judge is not the ultimate decision maker at the end of the day. So to keep her spirits up, it wasn't, especially with Alicia, it wasn't really hard because she's a really tough person. She's a strong woman, young woman, and I would just tell her, I had 2 words, and she'll nod her head and she'll be fine. I said she wasn't an individual that was like panicking whenever these things would happen. So there's definitely clients that do panic, even if you tell them beforehand, like, this judge is going to say this or do that. When we bring out this evidence or when we object, they'll still panic, because it is something that causes panic or anxiety when it's your life on the line and you're actually seeing some sort of unfairness happen right before your eyes. But she was good. She didn't have any issues. She didn't appear to have any anxiety to me. Maybe when she went back in the back, she was sweating bullets. But for us, she was the easiest person to deal with. She was really strong. And she was just focused.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's really like the type of client that I would consider to be the ideal client, right? Innocent, obviously, but more importantly, she was level-headed. Like when you.
Why y'all keep saying innocent, obviously, when she... So I guess it's a win because she didn't get life. I guess they feel like they won because she didn't get life. But she was found guilty, not innocent. I don't know why.
You spoke to her. She is not afraid to be vulnerable, and to be just honest about the circumstances of what's going on.
Whoa. She's not afraid to be honest, but they found her lying. And never mind. I'm tripping. If I'm tripping, y'all let me know, y'all. If I'm tripping, y'all let me know. Keisha Jones. Kay, what's up? She says, hey, y'all. Phenom Scorpio says Steelers. He said, it's called reality. Checking in. Larry Law says, I love the Jacksonville Jaguars, even though at times we are trash, awful at times, but we're not going to take it. Big Homie Slim said, what's the amount of time you think she's going to get? I heard one blogger say 7 to 8. To be honest, right now, I don't have an answer. I do know that Fulio's mother is writing, I guess, is it an impact statement or something like that? She's pushing for the max. I know that for sure. With that one, it's a toss up, bro. Cause so many things, them talking and then explaining that the jury was basically all white besides 2 Puerto Ricans, and one of them was like a white Puerto Rican, a white Spaniard. You know what I mean? Like, it's a few things that play. I don't know now. I don't know. I'll come back to that one, bro. You already know. I'll come back to it. Phenom says, if she walks, either she's a motivational speaker or she's supposed to be something major. What circumstance to learn a lesson, the real deal, or she gave up the main topic, then trying to drag it on. Ace. Larry Law says trash New York City. Damn, what you mean? New York is trash? Are you saying trash? Hold on, what you mean? I don't know. Anyway, Larry Law, my player partner, what up? Big Homie says. Larry Law say, let's go. Big Homie Slim said the only ones, the ones won was the Florida Department of Corrections. He said, you got a kid that's going to grow up without a mom, a mother who lost her son, and no telling if the others got kids, and the people who love them as well. Nobody won. The only ones won was the Florida Department of Corrections. Facts. Phenom says, mentally, it will affect her, maybe good, maybe not. She's cold like that. She's definitely cold. Scintillating whips. Scintillating whips. They offer her 18, but then gave her manslaughter. Big Homie says this is a perfect example of how to stay out of the BS. For all you jits out there, it's a lot more examples. Stay out the streets, get into the books, change the curse, don't live up to the stereotype. Facts. Scintillating whip says, sounds like they're going to give her the same time they tried to offer her for the plea she didn't take. Hey, Scintillating, I heard that they never really gave her the plea. that her lawyer actually said that was fake news. So I don't know. We'll see. But hey, man, y'all do me a favor, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't already, and hit the description box and find out how to get these $155. The pot is up to $155 right now for the Thanksgiving giveaway. We're giving the money away on the 21st. Like the stream, share the stream. Let your people know if they might need it. You know who knows how far it might go up. It might be 200, it might be 300. Right now it's at 155. We're giving it away on the 21st. Let your people know. Come in here and to win this money. Maybe everybody in your household could enter to win to get the money to ensure that money goes to your household. It doesn't have to just be you. Just check the rules in the description box. Let's go.
It was definitely an asset to her own defense, which is, it sounds like it should be an obvious, but sometimes the stress and the weight of this kind of, especially this kind of trial, it's hard. It's hard because it's a gamble. You're putting your life in the hands of, in her case, 12 people. So it's stressful. So I commend her. I talked about her to my sister every day. My sister was with me at a trial, and we both talked about how strong she was. And she was.
Larry Law says she did win. She beat life. K say, what's up, Larry? Big homie says she did say she didn't know Gutter Zay with gutter tatted all over her. So yeah, she's very truthful. You see what I'm saying? I guess they considered it a win with all the lies she told. Like, yeah, she did win. Larry Law said she'll get the max at 15 years. Elisa Andrews looks Caucasian. Phenom says this was the hottest trial, no doubt. He says, I'm not from New York, but New York cool. Yeah, I rock with New York for sure. Key says they ain't offer her a deal. They ain't offer her a plea. Larry Law says, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Phenom says you could be in the books and then go play dumb games. That's like the parents can raise their, oh, it got erased. All right, for sure, let's go.
She was definitely an asset to her own defense, but also she managed herself very well, even without any of us intervening.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm pretty sure a lot of folks in the comments might agree that when she took the stand, she shifted the room in a way that I don't think could have shifted without her being up there. So my first question about just her taking the stand in general was it always the plan? Was it always in the books for her to get up there?
Yeah, it was. I mean, and we try to, make it seem like, there's some mystique about whether she's going to testify or whatever. But that's all part of the plan too. To have the jurors think that maybe she won't testify. But everybody wants to see it. And, honestly, I've tried a lot of cases and people say, you shouldn't put your client on the stand to testify. So in the majority of my trials, my clients have testified and it has gone well. In the couple cases that I have lost trials, my client did not testify and we lost. And so that is a myth, in my opinion, after having tried more than 35 cases. It's a myth to say that if you put your client on the stand, your case is doomed or whatever. It's not reality, because if you prepare your client like it was prepared, she can save her own skin, right, by what she says on the stand and how she reacts to the state's cross-examination. That is in and of itself, preparing your client to testify and what happens when they get on the stand, all of that is part of the trial, and you can't just ignore it. You can't just hide from it because, it could turn out bad. You have to do it. It's part of being a trial lawyer.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You said it better.
So I've heard you guys say how strong she is and how much of an easy client she was. We see people take the stand all the time and we're questioning, did you prep them? Or I don't think this person was prepped. Like, how much work actually went into trying to prep her? How much of it was just genuine Alicia up there on that stand?
So preparation is a few things.
I think she just gave them an out when she say that. Like, don't say like how. Just ask them how much prep went into it. Don't say genuine Alicia, because when you say that, that gives them something. That's an easy way to segue. Oh well, it was Very little prep. It was all her. Like, you just gave them an answer, Taylor. I wouldn't have did that personally. Shout out to you, though.
Preparation is one, her
I don't think I would have did that. Sitting back watching, I feel like I wouldn't have did that, but in the moment, I probably would have been on some fumbling. Oh, so how? I don't know. But salute regardless.
knowing all the evidence against her, so her being aware of the different police reports, the depositions that we took, so reading those things and watching camera footage, watching her interrogation. So her just knowing everything about the case is the first step. The second is then telling her how it will be during trial. How, because like people don't know what trial is, no more than any of these people on YouTube. She's never been in trial before. So telling her how the trial works, from jury selection, to the state's case in chief, then putting on evidence, us cross-examining their witnesses, then us putting on
when he said none of the people on YouTube, they don't know how trial works. All of us was shaking our head. Yeah, you right. At the same time, me, Aaron, Taylor, all of us was shaking our like, yep, yeah, nigga, right. You got a point.
case and whatnot. Letting her know what happens in a trial is also the next important thing. Then it comes like the questions that we're going to ask her. So preparing her for the questions that we're going to ask and how her responses should be to these questions and how she has to think about the people that are watching her and how she can't just, she has to keep her hand away from her mouth when she's talking, or she can't lean on her palm or whatever. So like little things that we work through as we go, right, are helpful. And then we cross-examine her, pretend like we're the state. So all these things have to get worked on, and it was a months-long process. It wasn't like in the middle of trial, we said, oh, well, you should testify because, we're maybe halfway in, halfway out, and we think you do a good job. You get up there and you figure it out on the stand. No, this was months worth of work that we put into her testimony. And if you ask anybody who's actually watched trials before, like in recent times, like who has been a better defendant on the stand in their trial? Ask around and let me know. I don't know. So it just, she did well, and
she did excellent. She did. She did. Jeremy, they won't give you credit for that. They said people are insane, and the idea. I'm glad you're explaining it, Jeremy. The idea that I'm not going to say it never happens, because there are attorneys who, in particular cases, might feel like, yeah, you should not take the stand. But ultimately, it's up to the defendant. When they answer that question from the judge, because the judge will ask, "Do you want to testify?" They could have been saying no the entire time, and then they say yeah. I would hope that never happens, but it's possible, right? But the idea that any attorney would just let their client just hop on the stand without having prepared them for, most importantly, how the prosecution is going to treat them on cross is, I can't imagine that.
And I'll add to this, like, even if somebody's telling the absolute truth, without preparation, when you're talking to an attorney on cross-examination, you're in front of a box of 12 people, that's the jury, your cameras are going and all this other stuff, you could be 100% telling the truth, and you could look like you are the biggest liar in the world. You could be up there sweating bullets, you could be him and Han, you could be stuttering, you could do all these things. And it's not because you're lying, it's just because you weren't prepared to be in that situation. Like, not everybody in the world is a great public speaker. You don't just grow up speaking in front of these people in this situation. So part of it is that it was truthful testimony, but the other part is that she prepared.
Yeah. So someone in the comments said, and to hear it took him a month. Just to clarify that, it took months, many months, not just 1 month. I just wanted to clarify that. It was many months. It was over many months. And I can't take credit for that. But it was over many months.
Cut on.
She got to turn that mic off. Little baby came in and said, Mama, he say, Mama, food? Is the little nigga hungry? Are you not feeding them kids, Taylor? No, I'm just playing. He said, Mama, something. I'm nosy, though. I'm sure finna find out what the little man just said. I ain't mean to say nigga, excuse me. Don't even refer to kids like that. I don't never be like, oh, my little nigga. I don't call kids, oh, this my little nigga. This is me talking loosely, so I might say it in joking form, but I promise you, in any situation, I don't know, unless I'm fighting now, which never happens. But still, like, I don't do that. So no disrespect. I don't even like. Anyway, let's see what the little man said though.
Clarify that it took months.
I'm nosy as shit.
Many months.
Little man came in and said, "Mama," Taylor like, huh? Hold on, little man, get your ass, get back. I'm on live, nigga.
Not just 1 month. I just wanted to clarify that. It was many months. It was over many months. And I can't take credit for that. But it was over many months.
Did that boy say mama food? Caught Taylor off guard. That big ass, pretty ass smile. Huh? Oh shit. Get your little ass.
Clarify that. It took months. Many months. Not just 1 month. I just wanted to clarify that. It was many months. It was over many months. And I can't take credit for that. But it was over many months.
Hold on. My son just came here and just threw me all the way off. Y'all. Just children.
All right. I'm sure Celia is somewhere in the background.
Girl, he still is right here hanging on the chair. But y'all heard it. Y'all
What's
heard
up,
it
little
from
man?
Jeremy. So while y'all in the comments talking about she saved herself, Jeremy helped prep her to save herself. The team helped her prep to save herself. So give credit where credit is due. Now, I do want to talk about these phone calls because those phone calls coming out on her.
Taylor, go get that man a Capri Sun real quick. Now, he probably drank organic. Get that man some beet juice. Go get that man some beet juice and some homemade gummies. Give him his learning toy and get back to your business.
Cross-examination had us all shocked. And to hear her say, didn't your
Little man understand the business too, because he ain't back there saying too much. He ain't doing too much. He chilling. He just like, come on, ma, I want my homemade gummies and my beet juice. Come on, mama, damn.
attorneys tell you not to speak to him over the phone? Like, how did you guys, was there any conversation about that before she took the stand or maybe afterwards about those calls?
She knew they were bad.
Afterwards, it's like you handled that well.
Yeah, you handled that very well.
But you know, it wasn't a surprise to us. We knew that it was going to come up, and so that was also part of the preparation. So like all these people talking and saying all these things, like there's a lot of stuff they don't see. Mm-hmm. And had she fumbled at any point during that examination or whatever, then you could say her attorneys didn't prepare her well. But every question they had, she had an answer, a reasonable answer, a truthful answer, and it was well thought out. So we prepped her for all of the different questions that they may ask. There were questions that the state did not ask, that if they did ask, had an opportunity to answer those questions, they would have looked even worse on the state. So she was over-prepared for their cross-examination, and they're lucky that she didn't get asked other questions that she would have had very good responses to.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the DV, right? Because I think the point of like maybe some of the domestic violence coming into the trial as evidence was confusing to some folks while thinking it was like a duress defense. Can you guys explain the purpose of DV coming into this trial and what impact you wanted it to have?
So, Jeremy, do you mind if I take this?
Go ahead.
So, duress was never a defense, ever. Ever. Not ever at any time did we ever put forth duress as a defense. That is something that the judge kind of coined, and it was something that she kept repeating, but we never attempted to put forth duress as a defense. Duress as a defense essentially is an admission, right? Duress is saying, I did this, but here is why I did it. So duress was never a defense for us. The domestic violence.
That's a good clear up. Appreciate that, Aaron.
What?
Arian. I forgot she. It's not Aaron.
It's important to our defense because, and it's ironic that people felt like I don't understand why she's talking about domestic violence. So many people said she must have known because she was there, right? Because anybody in their right mind that was there would have known. Well, that's why domestic violence is so important. because she's not a normal, 19, 20, 21-year-old woman. She's a battered 20-year-old woman, 21-year-old woman. In a situation where a normal person may have been, even if they had suspicions, asking questions out loud and advocating for themselves, she understands what the consequences of advocating for herself would result in, right? So she has a very different experience than someone who is in a normal relationship where your partner values your life, your freedom, sees you as an equal partner, and you have agency in your relationship. That was not her situation, right? So the domestic violence mattered because it went to, first and foremost, the reasonableness of the idea that she would have known, right? Or how she could have come to know had she asked the right questions. But more importantly, it goes to the idea of her state of mind, right? Her intent, whether what she was doing was actually for the purpose of committing this murder, which it was not, or if she was in a situation where she's next to a man that will whoop her ass if she doesn't do what he says do. And so that's why the domestic violence mattered for our defense, but it had nothing to do with duress. And I really don't even know where that idea came from, because it was not from us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, duress is like an affirmative defense, meaning if you get convicted of something, or if you're on trial for something and you want to prove that you have a defense, it means I did it. An affirmative defense means I did the crime or whatever, but I had some legal justification for doing the crime, and it would be duress, right? So I did it because somebody had a gun to my head, or because if I didn't do it, they were going to kill my mom, my sister, my cat, my dog, whatever. That's duress. That's an affirmative defense. It's something that you have to prove in order to say that, yeah, I did the crime, but I'm not guilty of it because I have some legal justification for doing it. That was never something that, and as much as the judge kept saying it could get on my nerves every time, because we never put forth that we were going to have some sort of duress defense. And then people ran with it online. Oh, I can't believe they were going to use domestic violence as the defense, or duress as a defense. What are they going to do now? It's like, we're going to use our actual defense when the trial comes, and it will be just fine. But even that ruling that we couldn't use the domestic violence in our trial, the judge walked that back because it's absolutely relevant to what her state of mind was at the time. Like, if somebody is telling you to do something and you know that this person has the ability or the capability to beat you or do whatever they want to do with you in the moment, then you're more likely to give up your phone and not say anything, or go along with them on a ride and not say anything, not ask any questions, or talk back or anything like that. So domestic violence was important to our case, but regardless of whether we got it in or not, Alicia was still going to be able to tell her story about what happened, and we thought the result would be the same. But it's perfectly legal and relevant to the case for her to talk about those things, especially when the whole case is about all these people in Jacksonville, these gang members, this gang war and all this stuff. She's not even in a gang. Right. She's like, and why is all this stuff relevant? Why is the gun relevant in Sean Gathwright's home and in a mom's safe? Why is the safety on a rifle important or relevant to the state? Like, right. There was so many things in the trial that the judge let in because they were quote unquote relevant, but we're getting pushback on something so small as to like her relationship with her boyfriend that they're saying was a bond.
Because it's not your relation, it's your relationship with the judge. Y'all not tied in. Plain and simple. No, it definitely could have been a race thing. No, I get what they saying. Now hearing all this afterwards and them explaining, walking everything down, I can see where people were saying that the judge was biased. I'm getting more understanding for why they were saying that. I felt like initially she was fair because it was a lot she was turning down. But then again, this is also one side of the story. We don't know why the judge felt like the things they were bringing in weren't necessary, because maybe the judge is looking at it like, okay, she has co-defendants and you trying to bring up something about domestic violence. We got enough to prove that. Like, I don't know. Could it be like, how much evidence did they have to prove DV as opposed to the state showing the entirety of the war, the gang, the conspiracy to commit, and then the role she plays in that entirety, even if it's a small role. You know what I'm saying? So I do understand that more as opposed to somebody trying to. The shit they showed for DV, bro, it wasn't even obvious. She was not bleeding. It wasn't like a black, yellow, purple eye. It was like a little small. Listen, any man hitting a woman, grabbing them up, snatching them up, slamming them down, finger on the forehead, all that shit is wrong. Even if you just yelling in their face, standing over them, bitch, all that's wrong. I don't agree with none of that. But what I'm saying is the stuff that they showed didn't show prolonged domestic violence, in my opinion, and it didn't show like this wasn't definitive of a beating. It wasn't like she had a black swollen eyes like, oh, it's a mark on my neck. That could be a hickey. That could have been a rough sex mark. You know what I mean? Like that could have been wrestling around, passion mark. You could have I don't know. I needed more evidence for the domestic violence.
Bonnie and Clyde relationship.
Right.
Then the text, oh, you saying he beat you. Okay, well, if that text ain't relevant, if the text for her saying, I want Fulio dead ain't relevant, then the text for her saying, oh, Isaiah Chance did this to me shouldn't be relevant at all. The same way. You know what I'm saying?
That was the other, I'm glad you added that last tidbit because I forgot about that. The other point, I guess, about domestic violence is without us being able to put that forward, the state was going to be able to mislead the jury and paint this relationship as though they were this Batman and Robin, Bonnie and Clyde duo going to commit a murder. And that's just a lie. So that was the other big issue that we were, fighting against. They should not be allowed to present this to a jury as though she is, like loving on him in a way that makes it so that she'll do whatever he says.
So she's so scared of a nigga that is about to spend life in jail or die that she's setting up third-party calls to have sex mail and talk to this nigga in jail and all that. After she lied again and said she wasn't talking to the nigga and she broke up with him and she don't communicate. Bro, come on, bro. How y'all? They doing their job. I'm not mad at them. Shout out to them. Salute to them. I wish them much success. I hope the next one is even bigger. Like they said, the numbers done went up. Shout out to y'all, but I'm not buying it when it comes to this particular case. I'm just not buying it. But y'all doing what y'all supposed to do. If the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be saying all the same shit y'all saying.
Because she wants to please him, because that's not what it was. That just wasn't the truth. So that was the other part of that.
Yeah. And that was like almost one of, well, I'm gonna say almost, but that was one of my favorite parts about her cross, right? It was the question about him telling her to be loyal. And she's like, he's telling you to be loyal. This just went on. What does that mean? She's like, don't cheat. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? When she said that, I was like, it was almost as good as I'm cute. But I was like, yes, girl, get her, because she has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and this is the thing, like when you read text messages.
So you bought that, and then y'all finna say you don't know the tone of the text and all. That's what y'all finna say. Look at these eyes, Jesus Christ. Looking at, scary ass. But y'all finna tell me, after all that happened, he texts her when he's saying be loyal. So you know he talking in code. Yeah, that means don't cheat. You talking about, yes, girl, get him. So y'all rooting for killers. I feel like, I don't know.
Is when the idea of like perception. And if you've already come to a conclusion about a person, about what you think they did, you see everything in a very different way. And I think that unfortunately the prosecution, they decided, this is the way they were going to go forward. And I don't even think they anticipated like alternate explanations. I think they just decided that what they think is what happened. And I think that's part of why they struggled when they crossed her, because the idea that there's a reasonable explanation or an alternate explanation or an actual explanation, it just doesn't feel like they were prepared for that.
Yeah. So Jeremy, the people want to know, do you ever get loud?
I mean, do I have to? But the thing is, do I ever get loud? Did I get loud in that trial? Maybe
No.
one time.
I
Maybe
think
one,
it did a little bit.
yeah, maybe one time in when the state prosecutor, the guy, and the judge.
Yeah,
were
it was
arguing
on
back
top
and
of their,
forth.
the expert, the FDLE lady.
Yeah, I think well they were objecting for whatever reason, and I just got tired of it, and so I like fussed back and forth with the judge for a little bit, but I still tempered it because obviously the jury's there, and I don't want them to think I'm crazy. But no, that's just my demeanor.
Yeah, I think there was a question in chat asking about why you didn't go hard on Ramos. Was there anything that you wish you would have done differently just throughout the trial or your approach to any of the witnesses?
No, it was Ramos in particular. I'm trying to remember his cross-examination. There were moments in time where he would say slick things or whatever, and I would be slick back with him. I know there was a time where we were talking about the text messages between Kyla Enright and Sean Gathright, and he was like trying to say that Kyla Enright was not, she was drunk. So my response was, okay, she was drunk and she was following directions. But the point is, like, she's texting back and forth with Sean Gathright about, the types of things that Alicia was accused of doing, like dropping locations and doing all this stuff. But regardless of whether she was drunk, that was just like something for him to kind of throw off the jury. It was irrelevant, right? But the point was that she was texting Sean Gathright back and forth, just doing whatever he was asking her to do, but not actually knowing what Sean Gathright was trying to do, not knowing that Sean Gathright was about to try to shoot or kill Julio Fulio. So she was just doing what he asked, and she had no idea of the purpose of what she was doing, but she did it. She did it anyways. And that was the purpose. It wasn't, and it didn't matter if she was drunk or not, because she was still doing it. She was still able to follow those instructions and whatnot. But no,
Drunk is also not a defense to any. It's not a defense.
Yeah. If Alicia was drunk, in the car, they wouldn't be like, oh, she's drunk, she didn't know what she was doing, right? So I don't necessarily need to get loud with anybody. Maybe I got loud a little bit in the closing argument, maybe a little bit when I got a little bit passionate, but that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it first. It's not his thing. He does not want to get aggressive and rowdy. We'll take a couple of questions from the chat before I close it out, because I know I've had y'all for an hour. And to be honest, I got class tomorrow. So we're gonna keep it moving. But do you guys believe you would have had a different verdict if the jury had more than a couple of hours to deliberate?
Mm-hmm. I think we would have had a different verdict if I don't think that the jury was instructed properly. But I mean, that's something we maybe won't get deep into. And I would probably let Jeremy have that conversation more than I, but I think that there were some key things that the jury did not get to hear that might have changed their perspective on how they needed to vote.
Okay. So how do you guys feel about just manslaughter in general? Or is that something that we're going to wait on?
How we feel about what?
Just the manslaughter conviction in general.
Oh, I think that's bullshit. I mean, excuse my language.
My boy I think that's bullshit. Hey, shout out, bro.
Jeremy, we be cussing now. Don't these people know we
Bullshit.
So obviously we gotta respect the jury's decision, because they did find her not guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. But I think the jury's decision to convict her of manslaughter is just inconsistent with the fact that they found her not guilty of the first two offenses. Because by saying she's not guilty of those, it means that they didn't have proof that she intended to do anything or that she even knew anything was happening. So if you don't have proof of that, then where do you get the manslaughter from? That's really just them sort of splitting the baby. And I would imagine that they were in the room, and half the people are saying one thing and the other half are saying another thing.
Yeah.
And instead of on Halloween night staying there any longer or coming back the next week on some date that the judge said, she didn't say we'd come back Monday, she's just like sometime next week, right? They want to be done with it. And the judge kept promising them that they would be done with it that Friday. So they're not trying to come back. So in my opinion, I think they split the baby and they went with the manslaughter. I think very early on they decided that Alicia didn't have the intent to do anything, or that they didn't prove knowledge. The state didn't prove knowledge, because one of the very first questions that the jury asked when they came in after they started deliberating was, does the intent apply to second-degree murder as well? So they what that tells me is that they took first degree off the table right away, because there was no intent and there was no agreement or knowledge of anything. So they took that off the table. And then once the judge told them, hey, the intent also applies to second degree because she's charged as a principal, then they went back and they argued about that. And I think I don't think that they had any feeling that she intended or knew.
So we'll take this question just slightly different. Are you guys afraid of sentencing at all?
I wouldn't say I'm afraid. Do I have an idea for what might happen? Yes. In my opinion, the judge was doing everything she could to make sure that Alicia got a life sentence. So do I think that, when I say life sentence, I mean because if she had been found guilty of the charge that she was originally charged with, then she would have gotten life. It would have been mandatory. The judge's hands would have been tied. So do I anticipate the judge, giving her a light sentence? No. But, in my deep down gut feeling is that this case comes back on an appeal, right? Or maybe the appellate court changes the judge's decision to not disqualify herself, and we get a different judge, or we get a new trial, and we get to try this the manslaughter charge again.
All right. Were you guys emotionally drained at the end?
Yeah, I'd say so, and it makes it. Every trial is kind of like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that that recharges you after an emotionally draining trial is a good verdict. Because when you're emotionally drained from the trial and you get a bad verdict, it's like somebody took you from being on E to like somewhere below, way below E. But the verdict, it helps. In this case, it wasn't the verdict that we wanted, but after like regrouping and thinking about it for a little bit, it's like at least there's a cap on the amount of time that she can get, and at least we have good appellate arguments in the case.
It was very draining. It was emotional. I'll tell you now, I ain't scared to say it. I cried after. It was, it's hard to reconcile. Like, yes, she is limited in the amount of time that she could serve. So it puts her in a much better position than she would have been had, there been a first degree or second degree even murder conviction. But we are not satisfied, right? Because she is innocent. She does not belong in prison at all.
Hamburger looking at, Grimace looking at. Hey, Taylor look like she could hoop though, don't her? With the hat backwards, I swear Taylor look like she could hoop.
Day. And when you add everything else, her youth, her child, just her life and what it should look like and what it would have looked like, but for this situation, it's hard to not be emotionally drained. And that's separate from the just stress of being in trial, like constantly being on go, constantly having to shift, that part is stressful too. But then when you add a person that you are like invested in, yes, it was very draining.
Okay. All right, Jeremy, they want the smoke. So there's a rumor going around that you posted a Young and A song.
That's not a rumor.
A caption, possibly game over, on a picture. Now, I personally thought it was a Lil Flip reference. I don't know. I just got an email about it. But is there anything you want to say about that rumor?
No, it's not.
Yeah, I was just, she said you want to say about that rumor. I thought she was talking to me. I was finna, okay.
It's not a rumor. So one of the nights we was preparing for trial, we were leaving the office, and we were taking a few selfies throughout the process. Like, so after court, we would take some. Maybe sometimes in the middle of trial prep, we would take a selfie. So we took the selfies late at night, We're leaving to go back to our respective quarters.
Damn.
Before the next day of trial. Took the selfie, and usually I post this stuff, like a selfie or any pictures. I put a song on it, on my story or whatever. And
Why? Ace.
I guess I had been listening to all these songs throughout the process of preparing for this trial and whatnot. I didn't know Young and Ace, or I didn't know some of his music, or mostly any of these people. I didn't even really know Fulio's music. I had heard it on social media because there were memes and stuff that people would do. Like, there were even lawyers that.
So you didn't think that it was distasteful? They're trying to tie your client to this guy and your client's co-defendants to this guy. His songs, they're naming and playing the music and telling you the songs that are dissing this dead person that your client is on trial for, and you didn't think it was a bad idea? Even though you may not have been aware of who Young and Ace was before all of this. In the midst of all of this, just as use common sense, forget your education. Common sense didn't hit you and say, that's not a good idea.
That would make like these voiceovers for his song, like the Dead Op song, like Corbin got shot, who's Corbin, all that stuff. Like, there were lawyers that would pretend like they're talking on the phone to their client or whatever, and then the song would be playing in the background, and they would be like, damn, who's Corbin? It's like, I didn't know that was Fulio. I just thought it was some crazy random song that people.
Lawyers were doing that. That's horrible. And you followed behind.
We're using on TikTok and Instagram. So I didn't really know any of this stuff. But when I'm listening to these songs and whatnot, some of them are catchy as hell. So we're leaving the office that night, and that was one of the songs that I liked from the whole group of Back and Forth and whatnot. And so I posted it, and I posted it like at the end of the song, like, because in the beginning of the song, he starts singing about how he's 5 a.m, got a call. What is this? Dead on him, Mr. Six or whatever. So like, you can post the song with the words, but I posted the end of it. It just has like really the music playing. Not thinking that a blog would pick it up or whatever, because nobody picks up my story posts. Nobody.
Oh no, I tried. The price that went up. Everybody saw everything.
No, that's cap. That's cap. Just like how y'all played into the mystique of Alicia not taking the stand. You knew all this was, bruh. Come on, Jeremy.
I
knew what you was doing.
Posted, and I guess people were watching, and then it just went sort of viral, and then it just like added more fuel to the fire when I think Fulio's mom mentioned it or made a post about it. So it was nothing like intentional. Like, I wasn't trying to reach his mother or whoever, but it's not a rumor. I posted the song.
Okay. Well,
it was a foolish decision, a young, immature decision, in my opinion, but nonetheless.
I didn't know, because I didn't see it. Somebody just literally emailed me like, your boy Slick J posted. I said, what?
Slick J.
I mean, I just also think there is such an irony in people being, even though, obviously there was no intention behind, there wasn't. But
how, when you know it's a diss song, and then you intentionally don't put the part in the beginning where he's saying his name, but you use the music. It's millions of other songs you could have used. He knows what he's doing. Side bitch. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I speak ignorant. Side chick. Shut up. Stop trying to defend the meat that you probably been trying to work for all this time, that whether I don't know if he gave it to you or not, but shut up. He can talk for himself. He just did. The nigga was wrong. There is no defending that. That was fucking stupid.
There is an irony in people being like shocked about it in the midst of the way that, this entire back and forth thing goes. A lot of people are desensitized to it. So I don't know. It was kind of weird to me that people were like I don't even know what the emotion was behind.
She's just running her mouth. This is when you flap lip. This is what I call flapping lip, because you just talking to talk. Why are you even trying to defend this and you don't have a point? The thing about it is that you just called it a back and forth. The ironic part is that the lawyer is engaging in the back and forth by using diss music. Don't be dumb. Let's not be dumb. Let's not pretend like we don't know what the come on now. This is the shit I don't like when people try to play on intelligence. Don't fucking do that.
I did.
Fuck.
But yeah, that was interesting to me.
All right.
Then with that fake, there to go that fake. Oh, that was try to do the face like I don't get it. Fuck out of here. I almost said the B word. No disrespect to you personally, but don't play with intelligence, y'all.
So this is my last question because I think it's going to be important if I decide I want to do trial. If I want to be a trial attorney, what advice would you give to young attorneys preparing for the first major criminal trial?
A major trial or any trial, right? I would say know the facts of your case, like the back of your hand. And that's the first step to being prepared for a trial, is to know the facts of it very well. You gotta know the details better than your opposing side. And we did know the details better than them. As you could see, they kept messing up names. They're just kind of sloppy with who is who and whatnot. And when you know the facts better than the other side, the jury knows that they should be looking towards you for the answers, and they look at you as the more authoritative lawyer in the courtroom because you know the facts. Let's put aside all the other stuff, like knowing how to cross-examine, know how to direct examine, knowing how to give an opening statement, a closing statement, knowing how to argue the law. If you don't know the facts of your case, you can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So you gotta first know the facts of your case, and then you can start building on the actual skill set.
Mm-hmm. My advice would be, I guess, twofold. Be organized, right? Like organize everything as best you can, just because in the midst of trial, things unravel quickly. So you have to be organized, but you also have to be prepared to improvise because you can never predict. There have been so many times where I think I have the best legal argument, the best motion, and I know the law's on my side in some way. Like the judge might find a way to deny my motion. Like it happens all the time. So you got to be ready to improvise. And that comes with knowing the facts, right? Like if you know the facts well, you can improvise, but you also got to be organized and prepared. Expect the worst, prepare for the best, but
that's a lesson in life, period. Whatever, everything she just said, that's just a lesson in life to take with you through all situations. For real, I agree with you right there, shorty.
Expect the worst. And the biggest thing I would say is like practice anticipating the other side's moves. I think the best trial attorneys can
these are all lessons for life. This all church right here. This church. Go ahead, shorty.
Anticipate, or at least, get good at trying to anticipate what the other side wants to do or might argue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I apologize. I lied. There is one more question that I promised to ask that I didn't. The guys who entered the courtroom, what did
me or Jeremy? I can tell you right now, me and Jeremy can't answer that question because we were inside the courtroom when whatever was happening outside of the courtroom.
Okay, so it was outside.
What is it? What are you talking
about? So the guys that entered the courtroom,
mm-hmm.
I think there was just a lot of confusion around what they were doing there, if they were related to anyone, and why was it such a big issue. And I forgot to ask. Somebody texted me and said, don't forget, so I promised not to ask.
Yeah, so I don't remember what I was doing at that time. I'm pretty sure I was cross-examining.
You were crossing Ramos. Whenever I was helping you with exhibits, whoever you were crossing, I think it was Ramos.
Yeah, I was doing my job. Not paying attention to like a sideshow. So we had stopped for a moment to deal with that issue or whatever. And like I'm learning everything as it's happening because I was focused on my cross-examination. So I'm seeing them pointing out people and talking about this person took a picture. They pointed right at me actually when they was pointing. And I was like, what is going on? And then I had to like get out of the way a little bit, like to figure out who they was pointing at, because it couldn't have been me taking no pictures. But yeah, that was just like a distraction, and I wasn't bothering myself. There was a lot of distractions that kept popping up, but I wasn't bothering myself with it. I was focused on what I had to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know who they were at all. I mean, there was a lot of commotion outside about it. I ended up like going outside, but it was after everything had already happened. So it was just a bunch of commotion. I don't know who they were. It was clear to me though that they came there to support Julio's mom, which I think anybody in her position would want or desire some kind of support. I don't know if they were related to him or knew her specifically, but it was very clear that they were there to support her. Other than that, I have no idea what was going on out there because I was also inside doing my job.
All right. Well, I just want to say that I thought that you guys did an amazing job playing the hand that you were dealt. I think that you all made all Black attorneys everywhere look good. And I, if I had to have role models in the courtroom, I can't say that y'all wouldn't be a couple of them. Like everybody at that table, from the opening statement to the closing arguments, I think that you guys did an amazing job. And it showed, right? I know we didn't get the verdict that we wanted, but you definitely got something better than what was on the table. So I just want to say thank you for coming on my channel and talking with the Taylor gang, but also thank you for the work that you're doing in the legal field, because we know it ain't that many folks that look like us, and whenever we're able to make an imprint in spaces, I think that it's important. I was on Jeremy's Instagram, trying to collect a little information on you before the interview, and I ran across one of your posts, and you were talking about how a lot of high-profile clients don't get Black attorneys, and I feel like,
you sure you ready to wrap up? You sure you ready to wrap up?
I am. But I wanted to say this because it isn't something that you see, and I do believe that you can get quality out, quality from our race, and we are quality. We are the blueprint, and I just thank y'all for showing people that. And as usual, my team is my gang. They dropping flowers in the comments because we are going to give you that.
Thank y'all. We definitely appreciate it. It's important, it's important for my clients to look at me, because my clients are mostly young Black men and women, but mostly young Black men. But to be able to look at me, look at Jeremy, and be able to see relatability, to be able to trust, to be able to speak freely without the fear that, what you're saying is going to be misunderstood. And to know that I care and I'm passionate. Not to say that non-Black lawyers don't care or not passionate, but I know mine is a personal passion. I know Jeremy can speak to that too. It's important, and it's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And
all right, we're gonna wrap this up. I even though in certain circumstances for sure that I'm calling BS. Overall, I wish you the best. Salute to both of them, all three of y'all. Salute, super duper salute to y'all. Much success with y'all endeavors. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just coming from a viewer's, consumer, critic perspective. I still got respect for y'all and much love for y'all. Super duper salute. Shout out to Taylor Umbridge. Salute to her channel. Make sure y'all go show her some love. Run her up too. You know what I'm talking about? She's doing her thing. This is great interview. Pretty informative. I rock with it. Let me see. How long we been here? 2 hours, 13. Okay, we're going to get up out of here. Damn, how long was this interview? An hour. We still got 4 minutes left. I'm sure they ain't said it. We ain't missed nothing. Shout out to y'all, man. Hold on. Shout out to y'all, dog. Y'all so aggravating, dog. Aggravated, bro. Aggravated, bro.
There's no way in the world.
I'm aggravated, dog.
Did y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
Aggravated, bro.
I'm aggravated, bro.
Did y'all hear that? Aggravated, bro.
Did y'all hear that? I'm aggravated, bro. Shout out to y'all, man. The most aggravating chat in the game, but the most appreciated chat in the world. It's been real. Told y'all we wasn't going to be here for a long time, but we was going to try to have a good time in the meantime. But damn, we stayed a little longer than I anticipated. I didn't know this interview was an hour and a half. I did. And I just thought I don't know what the hell I thought. I talked too damn much. Shout out to Brooklyn for the $5 cash app going towards the Thanksgiving giveaway. Check the description box. Find out how to win this $155. And the money going to keep going up. We giving it away on the 21st. Find out how to line yourself up to be the winner. Somebody got to win. Might as well be you. Everybody in your house can join. Y'all just got to follow the rules. They're in the, hey. Y'all figure it out. Discord link in the Discord link in the bio in the what you call that shit? Discord link in the description box as well. We're gonna get and chop it up for a minute, man. If anybody wanna chop it up, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. Shout out to y'all. That boy Larry Law say that's right. That boy Mike from the Ville with the you know what I'm talking about? That boy Phenom says defense wasn't ready, just ready for the camera. Come on, man. Can't pull that one over on us. Facts, defense wasn't ready. I ain't going to say that. I mean, the can't pull that one over on us, though. When she was trying to, I can't remember exactly what part it was. It was, they were trying to say, what was it? It's going to come back to me later. But no, you can't pull that one. That's why I stopped and addressed it, bro. I don't want to have to rewind to get it. But yeah, what she talking about, bro? But shout out to her, though. Shout out to Arian. Shout out to her, to the lady. I'm saying her name all wrong. She said it right in the beginning. I messed it up. I apologize. No disrespect. Put some respect on her name, some respect on Taylor's name, some respect on Jeremy McClement's name. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to y'all. Y'all are great people doing great things. Let's get back to the chat before we get up out of here. Larry Law says, class big homie Slim says, how she would cuss him out. Oh, when she felt like he was cheating on her, it didn't sound like she was scared of him. That's a fact. He says it also sounds like they had a toxic relationship. They probably fought each other. Right. Don't make it right, but exactly. That's what I'm saying. Phenom says domestic violence, but all of the IG lives and your YouTube live posts, you seem to be enjoying it, laughing and smiling. She reminds me of Haley. Big homie says, not saying Jit wasn't beating her, but she was just down with that ish. She knew what was going on. Yeah, I still feel the way I feel. Of course, they feel the way they feel, whether we know how they actually feel or not. They doing their job. That's their field of profession. You know what I'm talking about? Phenom says not only her team didn't prepare her team wasn't prepared. They feel like they was pretty prepared when she got up on that stand. They feel like she did her thing. You know, damn, she did do. Oh, damn, she do got a pretty ass smile. Yeah, shout out to Taylor and that beautiful smile, man. She could light up a room. No, man. Scintillating Whip says her taking a stand helped her. LOL, she didn't. I don't think it would have been the same outcome. Wow. And Phenom saying I'm about to fry some pork chops. Shit. Yeah, throw me about two of them things in the grease real quick, bro. I appreciate you. Larry Law shouting out. K says they ain't offer no plea. Okay, we all caught up on the chats. Man. Y'all hit the Discord link in the description box if y'all want to get in, chop it up. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to BK, a.k.a. Brooklyn, for that $5 super step going towards the Thanksgiving giveaway. The pot is at $155. Ain't no telling how high it's going to get, man. Hit the description box, find out how to get in there. Check out the 15K subs giveaway. See how to win the money for the 15K sub giveaway. And also a dwelling. You know what I'm talking about? We're giving away a dwelling. Hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. The livest chat in the game, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we had fun, man. But hey, I do reserve the right to be wrong, like my bro said. It's never intentional, only because there's room for human error. And I identify as a multimillionaire. They got to give us a cash register if they got a bathroom. Other than that, y'all keep that energy up. Go out there and accomplish whatever it is y'all set out to accomplish. Do y'all thing for the rest of the day. You got somebody on your mind. You miss them. You just think about them. Just let them know you're thinking about them. If it's somebody that you love, you ain't told them, make sure you tell them. Might not get another chance. Hopefully you do, though. We hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. Much love, y'all. See y'all tomorrow. I'm telling y'all, members only content coming soon. As a matter of fact, this one I might put on. Nah, not yet. I'm gonna do a members only stream. I'm gonna have to. I ain't gonna. If I do it, I ain't gonna turn it to members